Good morning. Good morning, power people. Good morning, power people. I'm going to give you some time to realize that I'm live. And I got a really important conversation that I want to have with you this morning. Put empowerment in the chat if it is your profession or desired profession to get paid to empower people. If you're new to my movement and my presence online, I am the visionary and the pioneer of the company, the Womb Sauna. We are a global movement. We have literally empowered women, millions all over the world. I have personally trained practitioners in 17 different countries. None of that matters if in this conversation with you this morning, you don't get what you need to counter some of the exhaustion you feel from your success. When I train my students and mentor and coach them, I tell them, how in the world do you think you could be in the profession of empowering women and not have a coach or a mentor? It is unwise. Put unwise in the comment section. It is unwise. This type of work, we yoni steam, right? Like you gonna sit women on a pot, unpack their womb story, make them face the impact of their traumas, pull it all out of their body, reconfigure their energy, empower them, help them reframe their story, reclaim their power. And who you gonna talk to when it's all done? Who's going to refuel and refill you? And then some people, we don't do this in my business model and methoding, but I know in my industry, you got people that be lining 6, 7, 8, 10 women up at a time. What? So you pour all this energy out. You establish these healing cords with the people that you serve, where they begin to feed off of your energy in exchange for paying you for your services, your time, your attention, your ashe, and you don't have a mentor or a coach. You winging it you don't have a tribe that can catch you when you get exhausted from the work. That's just unwise. Put unwise in the comment. Mm-mm. And even if you're in another industry space, how are you in the profession of pouring your oil on people, serving, feeding, sowing into them, giving them your heart-centered work, and you don't have a mentor, you don't have somebody you can call, somebody that can refill you, somebody who has the vibrational capacity to fill you when you need to be filled, because they're that big, they're that vast, they're that expansive, they're that experienced, that when you need them, they can fill you up while you go out in the world and fill other people up. Come on into the live. Come on in. I'm giving y'all time. I'm warming you up. Come on in. We're about 4 minutes in. I need to have this conversation with you because your money, and my coach taught me this yesterday, your money is either happy or sad. And it impacts the sustainability of your vision. I want you to put in the comment section, is my money happy or sad? What's your reaction to that? Have you even had that thought before? You can become obsessed with the idea that if I just have enough money, I'll be happy. And that is a weak philosophy, because your joy is what actually fuels the circulation of your money. It's all vibrational. Put that in the chat. It's all vibrational. Put that in the chat. It's all vibrational. What do you mean, Tamer? I mean it. But don't I have to be responsible? Don't I have to be, yeah, I mean, life comes with responsibilities. But what are the choices you are making? And what's motivating how you choose? And an exhausted brain limits the possibilities. An exhausted brain, I'm going to put that in the chat. An exhausted brain limits the possibilities. Okay? Period. An exhausted brain limits the possibilities. When you are so tired, so overwhelmed with debt, so discouraged, and you live in a bubble, you work in a bubble, you're not plugged into tribe life, you are letting your past experiences of mentorship and coaching affect how you move in the present. You're using old information for new experiences. You can only be available to what you can see for yourself. And exhaustion can blind you and limit what you can see. Caught that if you caught that. Put that in the chat. Caught that, Tamer. Thank you for that. Say, I caught that. You will never be able to make yourself available for what you can't even see for yourself. And that's why wise empowerment professionals, wise ones, that's why they invest and nurture having access to people who can see what they cannot. That's the value of mentorship and coaching. You'll never catch me without a coach or mentor. And I'm so precise and surgical with what I summon vibrationally that there are times I get access to billionaires and multimillionaires and didn't have to pay a penny. So you got to expand what you think and what you do and how you move. Because the story you tell, you got to live. So yeah, there's a real experience. Okay, we're about 8 minutes in. I just want to give y'all time. I want to warm y'all up because there's more. Put it in the chat box. Oh, there's more. I just wanted to get you prepared for the conversation because whether you're in my industry and field of work or not, maybe you're, a government contractor for a social service community, maybe you do something else, but it's still a passion for you. It's still something that is heart-centered work for you, something that's important to you. I get it, but you could end up putting yourself on autopilot and completely disconnecting from the joy of the work, all over money and all over the illusion that what's in front of you right now in your career, your profession is all that's there. That's all you got. And for my entrepreneurs, like I watch women in business because that's who I primarily serve. I do, things for men as well, but most of my clientele are women. But I do watch women in business spin themselves in circles, trying to avoid the necessary shift. They want a success that they don't know how to activate. They want a success and stream of money that they are not vibrationally a match for yet. But when you set up your lifestyle and your work style in a way where it is solely dependent on what you can see, God help you when you're blind and can't see enough. and don't know enough. Relationships are currency. Put that in the chat. Relationships are currency. When we get to the 12-minute mark, I'm going to give you 5 ways to start earning money with ease so that you can handle and begin to grow your capacity emotionally. Because what happens with you emotionally has a direct impact on your flow of money. Money is energy, and wealth is the manifested intelligence of money. It is a system. It is a system. Think of wealth as a program you're logging into. But if you don't have the login and password, you don't get access to the system. Put that in the chat. Say, yes, wealth is a system. It's a science. It's a formula. And at the foundation of the technology, the vibrational technology of wealth, you have you and your perceptions, your thoughts, your choices, your behaviors, what you believe, all decide. Your thoughts, your choices, and your behaviors all decide what parts of the program you are cleared for access to. In my school online, the Womb Sauna University, my students who take my certification, they get to module 1, but you can't get to module 5 until you get through modules 1 through 4. Why? Why did I design it like that? Because the reality is, it doesn't matter how passionate and how loudly you're asking God for these big blessings. You can literally be at the ocean holding a thimble, but asking for bucket-sized blessings, asking for ocean-sized blessings, but all you have in your hand is a thimble. I would be disingenuous and out of order to give my students more than they are prepared for just because they ask for it. Consider in this conversation that, yeah, just because you want something doesn't mean you're ready for it. So I invest a lot of time and energy and resources in getting women ready to live the life of their dreams. Say, I want to live the life of my dreams, not the dreams my aunties and mama have for me, not what everybody else thinks I should be doing. No, I want to live my dream. We're at the 13th minute, so I promised you that once we got 12 minutes in, I would deliver to you 5 ways to start making money with ease. Here's the context of this teaching. Money will come by default when you are centered in your joy and clear in your desire. When you are clear about what you want to be, it helps you decide what to do. Practical example. If I say I want to be a leading voice in the world for women's empowerment, and I'm really clear, you'll know when you're clear about what you want because you won't rest until you start taking action on it. When you are clear about what you want to be, you start taking action on it. You won't sleep good, you won't rest, you won't be satisfied at the end of the day until you are doing something to start feeding your decision to be that. So if I decide that I want to be one of the leading voices in the world around women's empowerment, guess what I'm going to start doing? I'm going to start creating content. I'm going to start increasing my visibility. I'm going to leverage the internet and social media. All of a sudden, you're going to see me publishing books. You're going to see me with a YouTube channel. You're going to see me on the gram going live. You're going to see me because I decided that I want. So the first step before we even get into summoning money with ease is to decide what's going to light your soul up. What do you want to do to bring money in that is going to light your soul up and help you sleep more deeply at night and feel really good about who you are and what you are putting out in the world? If you want some of that, put the number 8 in the chat. 8 is the number of infinite abundance, right? Put the number 8 in the chat. Say, yes, I resonate with that. I want to wake up every day and do what I love. You are talking to a woman, you are listening to a woman right now who for 12 years nonstop has owned all of my time, has traveled all throughout the world, has reached millions of women with my message of healing everything. I've been blessed to be in every media outlet except for like reality TV, but I didn't need to even go there. My students got there for me. What I gave them opened doors for them, right? So like, I just want to put it in context. I'm not saying this to you just to make you feel good. I'm saying this to you because I live it, right? There's a code. I'm trying to give you the login and the password for the kind of lifestyle and work style that you want to live. So before we get into the 5 steps, you got to be clear about who you want to be. Because when you're clear on who you want to be, it directly impacts what you do. You're so exhausted with your success, not because your success and the amount of the work is the problem. It's not the work that's the problem. It's that your capacity is limited because of how you choose to work and your self-concept. Reverend Ike, one of my favorite teachers, he says, who needs a devil when you hold the concept of yourself that you do? The people you serve, the amount they are able to pay you, none of that is really truly the core issue. The core issue always begins and ends with me. When something is not vibrating the way I want it to, I don't give my power away by making it about anything other than me, because the one factor that I can control is me. I can absolutely decide what happens next in my life. So put some hearts if you resonate with that and you agree that, yeah, until I'm clear about who I want to be, I'm going to always have an air of confusion around what I'm going to do. I got to get clear on who I say I am so that I can execute. Where there is clarity, what follows is execution. You can't execute on what you're not clear on. I am a leading voice in the world, the global marketplace for women's empowerment. My company is designed to give a woman anything she needs at any given moment to become more healthy and whole in her mind, her body, and her spirit. It can occur while I'm asleep because I've learned how to create digital content, because I realize that if I'm going to serve the global marketplace, then I need to have things available to women in different time zones when I'm asleep. And that's when I began to have the experience of waking up to money. Because I got clear on who I want to be, it helped me decide what to do. Okay. So first tip on how you can make money with more ease. Find a service or a product or an offering that does not trigger your anxiety and fear. Start there. Are you comfortable sitting on the phone and just having conversations with people for 30 to 60 minutes. And maybe you charge them for your, just to have access. And you don't have to try to perfect it. Perfection is not required to have a positive impact, but you go ahead and you put it out. You say, hey, maybe your story, and you can start with your story, because people buy from people that they like, love, and trust. Maybe your story is you're a recovering drug addict. Maybe your story is that you're a single mom homeschooling your child, and you know what it's like to juggle all of those parts, and you know how to create some order and structure for families who want to take that path. Maybe your story is that you had a womb full of fibroids and the doctor said that they was going to do a hysterectomy, but you chose a holistic path and was able to clear the fibroids out of your body. What is your story, and why are you so quiet about it? If the testimony was real, if what God did for you was so good, you don't want to tell nobody about it, right? Like, get out here and make some noise. You're too quiet. People don't know you. Be willing to be, as my coaches have been reinforcing in me, authentic. Be willing to tell your truth. Be willing to like yourself enough to be visible. And create a service, a product, or an offering that's easy for you to give because it's within your realm of self-esteem. You have enough confidence to offer that. And that will begin to build the energy and the momentum. So you can start with, hey, I'm available on Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 3 to boop, boop, boop to speak with any other mothers. Any other single mothers out here trying to homeschool their children? I'm here. I have some tips. Let's just simply have a conversation. You can pay $100 for 60 minutes and let's just talk. And you can create a real quick link and just let people decide. That data will give you information on whether or not they want what you're offering and if the way you offer it makes sense, if it's hitting. And you need the data. Don't get anxious and afraid of the process that's required to figure out how people want to interact with you and trade and do business with you. But until you try, you'll never know. Okay, so that's the first tip to start making more money with ease. Make sure that what you start with is within your realm of self-esteem. Make sure you got enough confidence and it doesn't tax your nervous system. Because really, and I'm going to give you all this nugget, write this down if you can, or come back to the replay and with your pen and paper, right? Really, the truth is there's only two emotions, either love or fear. There's only two emotions. So you're either living on the path of love or you're living on the path of fear in everything that you do, how you work, how you do relationships, how you deal with health or disease, like in all things. Put all things in the chat. It boils down to two emotions, either love or fear. So which governs how you work? Does love govern how you work, or does fear govern how you work? Okay, so make sure that you pick a service, a product, or offering that is within your realm of self-esteem. And just start there. Just put it out. Just share your everyday life, your routine, and then just tell people, hey, if you want to talk to me more about this, if you can relate to this, I can carve out some time. Let's continue the conversation and start building that way. You will be surprised how easy it is to be able to do that when you are just being you. One of my mentors told me years ago when I first launched the Womb Sauna, she said, sis, if you learn to monetize yourself, you will never run out of money. Put that in the chat. I will never run out of money. Come on, God. I will not. I am the money. I am where the money resides. You better be clear about who you be so you will know what to do. I am where the money resides. And when you're clear about that, you move differently, you think differently, you perceive differently, right? So, the first step is, how do I find something to give and invite people to invest in that is within my realm of self-esteem, that feels good to my soul and lights my soul up? The second way to start calling in money with ease is to get organized with your time and where you place time to work. If you're winging it with your time, you are creating financial gaps. Wealth enjoys structure. Wealth enjoys structure. Remember, I said earlier in the live that think of wealth as a program or a system that you're logging into. Wealth does not like to be all over, because what happens when the money starts pouring in like a windfall? I summon for every single one of you listening to me right now, windfalls of money. If you don't have the right things to catch it as it's falling and raining on your head, you will lose some of what has poured. You ever met a person who, won the lotto, got all this money, and within a week it was all gone? They didn't know what container was needed for the very thing they asked for. They were not prepared. Your time is one of your greatest assets. I don't care if you're in a 9 to 5 or if you own a business, everybody trades their time for money. If people are telling you, "No, I don't trade my time," they're lying. Even in entrepreneurship, you have to have a schedule. You have to be mindful of you think Oprah or Beyonce or LeBron James or any of these people are just out here winging it with their time? No, they have to have structure. They have to have a plan and a vision for how they use their energy. And where there is a lack of order, there is a lack of capacity. Put that in the chat, because some of y'all are visual learners and your sister or whoever's listening might need to see it written to catch it. Where there is a lack of order, there is absolutely a lack of capacity, because you're all over the place. So if you want to make money with ease, you have to get a grip on time management. You got to live by your calendar. You have got to put things on your calendar. You got to look at your calendar. You've got to, when the notification rings on your phone, not ignore it. You've got to. How you going to catch the payment notifications if you ain't looking at your phone or you're checking your email? How you going to know when the passive income has finally arrived if you don't have the structure to pay attention? And attention generates money. That's why social media is so wealthy, because what we pay attention to is a very strong vibration financially. People pay billions of dollars to capture your attention through commercials, marketing, advertising. Imagine what would happen to your life if you treated your attention at that value and what you give your attention to, and what that would do for your flow of money. Do you even give the flow of your money attention? You just always ask for it, but are you intimate with your money? Is your money happy? What's the relationship? So secondly, if you want to make money with ease, you got to get a grip on how your energy is organized every day. And that is your time management. You got to live by your calendar. You got to structure. Okay, I'm beginning to notice that when I did step 1 and I just started talking about my life and telling people who I am and what I do, I'm beginning to notice that people love to engage with me on Wednesdays in the evening around 8. I think I need to make this habitual. because that's when the people are looking for me. So every Wednesday, hey, I'm going to put it on my schedule to go live and talk to my people that are resonating with what I'm talking about. Okay. Number 3, the third way to make money with ease is to break the habit of doing more than you need to do. I've studied enough entrepreneurs to discover that when they get anxious and afraid, they begin to launch more than they need to instead of relax into mastery of what they've already done. If you can relate to that, put an exclamation mark in the comments. If you know what that's like, put an exclamation mark in the comments. So you gotta get back to who am I? Sometimes you gotta be more and do less. And you gotta recognize when your fear gets triggered because maybe you had a revenue goal for September and you didn't hit it. So now you're like, oh my God, where's the money gonna come from? And you start wanting to get busy. You start wanting to overexert instead of sit back and really examine, what did I do to just put myself in receiving mode? I am a woman that can testify about having such a solid trust in the divine plan for my life that I have literally walked out of my front door and stepped on money that I didn't even know was going to, I don't even know where it came from to this day. I've been in Walmart to go buy a storage container and found money. Like, money and I are BFFs. Goodness and mercy follows me all the days of my life. It's chasing me and I'm chasing it. We love to run around each other and have a good time, right? So I want you to be thinking about like, oh, okay, where do I create space to evaluate and celebrate what I've already done and put in the vault? Look at it like this. When you go to a restaurant, you sit down, you look at the menu, you order what you want to eat. You are not in the kitchen trying to prepare your meal. You are sitting at the table, taking in the ambiance, the scenery. If your girlfriends are with you, you're having a good time, maybe sipping on some wine. You're trusting that your meal is about to arrive. You're paying attention to the moment you're in. Right? So look at, okay, when I am starting to feel that fear and anxiety, instead of trying to make it happen, because there's a difference between moving powerfully versus forcefully, I am going to trust that the work I have done is working. I'm going to reflect on what I've done week over week or day after day. I'm going to trace where the energy holds the most momentum. I'm going to nurture that if I need to. And I'm going to relax and surrender and trust the rest of the month. Because there's no way, it's universal law. There's no way you can be putting good in the earth and not be rewarded. And not be rewarded. You will see the fruits of your labor. And you will see the fruits of your spirit. It's better to relax than to move in fear. Put that in the comment section. It's better to relax than to move in fear, because wealth is a system, and the majority of what's needed to get the login and password to that system is vibrational. It's mindset and heart set. So keeping yourself in a specific frequency is required to bring the windfalls of money. I'm telling you, if you go on YouTube and you just Google podcast interviews with multimillionaires, they all are saying the same thing. I'm not just pulling this out of my behind. I'm telling you the code. I'm giving you the code. You either believe it or you don't, but go try it, go test it, go see what it's like in your life when you're moving in fear versus when you're moving in faith. Tell me what's happening. Tell me what results you're getting. Tell me what happens when you start your day without a plan, or you don't stick to the plan you created for that day. Tell me what happens when you have a powerful testimony and story to share with people and nobody knows it because you're not telling it, right? Y'all can feel in your body and in your spirit that something bigger is available to you that you can give yourself if you would really just sit back and reframe your whole philosophy about money, what it is, and how to get it, right? I'm telling you, my spiritual father, my Baba, would say to me, all money is, y'all write this definition down to help somebody. All money is God in circulation. Come on, Holy Spirit. So all you have to do is stay with God. I teach my students and I teach my clientele that I coach that God and lack do not exist in the same space. Think about it. What makes God God? The unlimited ability to create what is needed. So how can you be with God and not have what you need? It is an oxymoron. It does not make sense. God and lack do not exist in the same space. Get with God and stay there. And the closer you get to God, the more you will find God in you. I've healed my separatism from God. Me and God rock as one. So all of this affects how I work and how I interpret success and what I decide can exhaust me and what cannot. Me serving the people that I serve, those aren't the things that exhaust me. I love it. It's what I was born to do. I love when I can sit with a woman and witness a life-changing moment in her life. Like I watch her come in feeling defeated, feeling dismayed, and walk out with a different posture. And then a few weeks later, the fibroids are gone, the infertility is gone. We got womb sauna baby hashtag trending, all of that. I love it. It ain't the work, it ain't the people that's the problem. It ain't whether or not I charge them $500 a session or not, or give them a Groupon. That's not the issue. Do you really think the money is constricted by that? Money is energy. Put that in the comments. Money is energy. This is about my self-concept. All right. So, fourth way to begin to make money with ease. Once you've sat with and established a rhythm of interacting in the marketplace, once you've gotten a little more structured and organized with your time and how you show up, when you show up, and you're able to recognize what's profitable and how you show up versus, oh, okay, I didn't do too much, right? Then you become a little bit more masterful and you start pinpointing, okay, all right, so now that I'm seeing more people, I'm noticing people are booking these one-on-one conversations with me, but I want to have more time to walk through the park. So I can only maybe see 8 clients a week. Or maybe you live by the water, so I want to be on the beach a little bit more. Okay, because you get to decide the lifestyle you want to live every single day. Every day. Not particular years. No. Every day you decide what you did with yourself that day. So if you decided to go sit in the office for 8 to 10 hours, you got to live your decision. That's why there's value in changing your mind, right? So maybe you decide I want to lay on the beach a little bit more. So I want to only see a certain number or talk to a certain number of people in a week, right? That's cool. So then you can say, but I still love my people. They still need something from me. Maybe you'll birth an ebook. Maybe you'll create a digital product. Maybe you'll create a container. Okay, you know what? I'll give them 6 weeks of my undivided attention, like what I do with my 6-week womb healing intensive, right? I've served over 200 women in the world through that program. And they know at a certain time in the year, I'm going to get 6 weeks of Tamar's undivided attention, and she's going to help me build a relationship with my womb and connect deeply with the womb of my mind, the womb of my body, and the womb of my spirit. I got Tamar for 6 weeks. People pour into that. People have signed up over and over and over again because they can trace what they get in their lives after 6 weeks with me. Then it got so powerful that I said, I got to create a 1-year self-development. People who spend a year with me, they change exponentially. Their money changes, their confidence, right? So after you begin to really establish a rhythm, you'll begin to see, oh, this is the sweet spot. You'll be able to identify the sweet spot between your self-care and your care of the people. Okay. And you'll be able to put that on autopilot. What does that look like? Oh, I create a landing page for the 6-week womb healing intensive. So people can enroll and click when they realize that that's available to them, they can just go and click and register. And then I can just wake up and see the money being transferred to my account from Stripe. Right? Like that's how it works. Money with ease. Money with ease. It all begins and ends with you. It begins with you first deciding who you want to be so that you will decide what you will do. And then when you start doing, you measure if it matches who you said you are, and boom, then the sparks fly in your life and it all begins to make sense. Okay. So the 5th way to make money with ease. And even though I put it as the 5th point, it is one of the most important points. And that is relationships are currency. Tribe life is the advantage. Who and what is in your atmosphere? I'm sure you've heard that you are the reflection of the 5 people you spend the most time with. How can you be sitting in your cubicle in the office with other people in the cubicle who don't know what a multimillionaire lifestyle looks like, but you're going to take their advice? I'm not saying that you can't learn from people who have different experiences from you, but I'm asking you, why is that the only thing in your orbit? Why haven't you summoned and invited and sought people who think differently? Because the advantage is that they can see what you can't see, and it just might broaden your vision. Because as I said earlier in the live, you will never be available for what you can't see for yourself. If you can't see yourself being able to pay your bills and have money left over, and being able to wake up when you want, go to sleep when you want, etc., no wonder you're not you won't even vibrate that, because you can't envision it, can't see it. So sometimes you need people in your life who are living the complete opposite of what you're living, just so you could see it, because you don't know what you don't know. So people who diversify the types of relationships they have an advantage in life. People who are culturally educated, who, are around not just people of their ethnicity, but other, they have an advantage. Their minds have seen more. And they're able to understand things that people who've only seen one type of thing or experienced one type of thing aren't able to. Your relationships are currency. So yes, you need to audit your relationships. Are these profitable relationships? What kind of partnerships? Who else is out here trying to be one of the loudest voices in women's empowerment? Maybe we should get on the gram together, and maybe, if they got a podcast, I should show them the work that I've been doing and say, hey, maybe we can do some joint ventures on some things and partner on some things. Let's feed each other. Let's expand the feast. Let's put more food on the table. Let's create more positive impact in the world. But the obsession with living in your bubble and working in your bubble will drain the bank. And it drains your heart, because when you have tough days, like the women who are in my tribe and my circle, they really do understand the depth of my work. The womb sauna experience is not a spa like yoni steam. It is deep spiritual work. I only service women one-on-one. One session with me ranges from 1.5 to 2 hours, depending on how much processing. So there are days when I've had nothing but women that have come into the office who are getting their ass beat by their men. And I have to hold the energy for them. But when the day is done, I gotta have people that can hold the energy for me. And I could not imagine doing work like this. Empowerment work, passion-driven work. I'm a healer and I don't have no tribe. That is ridiculous. How are you going to survive? No wonder you get exhausted. How are you going to sit out here and educate the people and give them the knowledge they need? And then somebody wants to do a charge back on your ebook claiming they never received it, and you know you sent it, but you're supposed to just regulate all of that by yourself. You ain't got nobody you could tap in whose energy and love for you and support you can leverage and borrow. This is why I birthed the Sisterhood Manual. If you don't have it, you need it. Go to thewombsauna.com, go to our online store and get the Sisterhood Manual. It is an audio ebook with the principles of what it means to experience tribe life as women at the highest level. Go get it. It is powerful and life-changing. This is why I birthed it, because I began to see women burn out, exhaust themselves, because they didn't even trust that there were people who could catch them while they were working and serving others. Right? So relationships are currency. You want to have a mix of people in your orbit from different life experiences, different ethnicities, different income levels. Okay? You want to have that available to you. It will expand your vision. It'll teach you simple things like, oh, what brand of clothing is that? Never heard of that because I ain't never been in them stores to be able to buy. Right? Like little stuff that you wouldn't even think you learn just by being in that energy and being around different types of people. The most generous people I've ever met are wealthy people. They don't have the lack consciousness where they're trying to get people to pay them more so they can serve them. They don't think like that. They're actually thinking about how can I serve more people in a way that they can afford, even free. They have vibrationally recalibrated. They've amassed enough that they are in the position to serve with ease because they made the necessary sacrifices. They made the necessary decisions to set themselves up that way. So it's easy for them to show up not because they're more fortunate. Everybody is born with the same breath. And day by day, we each decide what we do with who we are and the life we've been given. Right? So you want to make sure you have profitable, put that in the chat, profitable relationships. The kind of relationships that when I assess and do an audit on it, I'm able to see what I gave and what I received and how that impacted my life and my business. Okay. So when you line these 5 things up, you'll begin to see the windfalls of money. Some of you have done that already and you've experienced what I've described, but maybe you stepped away from it. Because I've learned as a full-time entrepreneur that I function better with accountability. So if I go into my bubble and don't nobody know what I got in motion, what I'm doing, what's going on with me, it becomes easy to get off track and get off of my plan. But when I stay in community, when I stay in tribe life, that's why I say tribe life is the advantage. And I'm talking to my sisters every week. I'm meeting with them regularly. Then it's hard to be like, oh, they're going to be like, Tammy, you said you was going to launch boop, boop, boop on this date and you wanted my support when you started dropping your marketing content. I ain't never see it. What happened? Right? And then I got to answer that. Some of you have intentionally isolated yourself and put yourself in a bubble because you're afraid to actually be seen. But I want everybody who is catching this live with a replay to hear my intention of this conversation, and please receive what I'm going to speak over you right now. Fully accept your significance. You matter. And please like yourself enough that we get to see you and experience you. Please like yourself enough that we get to see and experience you. I would love to know who was here listening to this live. Anybody who knows me and has worked with me will tell you I'm the real deal. You can call and talk to me, and I'm not going to ignore you. Like, I love people. I love the people. And the love I have for the people is a reflection of the love that I have for myself. If you've had trauma in your relationships and that's affected your relational currency, part of the medicine that I provide is my Woman's Circle of Empowerment. It's a sacred container. If you're in that circle, put WCOE in the chat so that other people watching know that you represent and you can attest to the power. Look, when they put the WCOE in the comments, go ahead and reach out to them and tell me, what is Tame a Circle like? Vet me. I literally give women the opportunity to experience the tribe and the space that I've created for 30 days for free. 30 days for free. Come vet and test and practice and heal and remember the power of community life, of sacred sisterhood, of tribe life, right? Everything a woman needs to be whole and empowered, she can get at the Womb Sauna. And everything that I am, I put in my business model. And that's why I have money come into my life with ease. So all throughout this conversation, I've just been sharing my journey and what I've learned along the way. I've even shared with you some resources you can tap into to apply some of these principles. I just gave you the Woman's Circle of Empowerment. I told you that I have a 1-year self-development program that women pay and invest to work and develop themselves in a year. They dedicate and commit to giving themselves their undivided attention for a year. And those women are getting money, joy, their love life changes, everything shifts. They get business coaching and all of that with me in a year. That's another resource you might want to tap into if you resonate with my energy. I have told you the cost you pay when you try to obtain success without mentorship and coaching, that I have a certification program where you can get trained in how to be a professional empower of women and offer them services and products and empowerment and see the return for that. I set businesses up. I launch product lines for my students. We have 5 farms in 5 different countries. I've hired a team of women in India who grow, harvest, dry out, sort, sift our herbs, and package them and ship them directly to my customers. See, you got to know who you're talking to and what they know, because they will bless you with shortcuts if you actually get the right relationships in your life. I'm telling you who I am. And it is who I am that has shaped and molded what I decide to do. I remember as a single mother sitting in my office with my 2-year-old all night, mixing herbs, labeling, packaging, and then having to get to the post office the next morning. And I knew subconsciously I was holding back my sales and marketing the product line at the full level because I knew my capacity was limited because I was a single mother with a young child. So I had to think, I had to figure out, how am I going to master the formula? Because I love my products. I love the impact they create in people. I got to think differently. I got to do something different. And I manifested the solution, because when you're clear on who you are, you are clear on what you will do next. Right? So I've been all throughout just dropping y'all little clues about like it's not hard to make money with these. So now when people go to the wombsauna.com and the store and they look at our God Medicine product line and they order, we have different formulations, right? We have Clean Me Up if you need to detox and clean out your gut because you ain't been eating right. We have Rest and Surrender if you've been overthinking and your adrenals are burnt out and your mind has just been all over the place, right? Get the Rest and Surrender blend, right? We have, all these different formulas. We have Get Grounded. If you know you've been emotionally dysregulated and all over the place, you need the Get Grounded formulation to help your nervous system. When somebody goes there and they click buy and they place an order, I sit back in my bed with my pink velvet comforter because I wanted pink velvet and I love it. And I just watch my team work. And because I'm a loud voice in the world around women's empowerment, I was strategic. I made sure that my team in India is a team of women. These are mothers and children who I'm giving economic power to in that part of the world by exclusively hiring women that I can empower by having them produce So you got to know what you don't know. And you got to know who to know that can help you on your journey of manifesting what you want. So when I cracked that code for myself, I offered it to my students. Some of them have taken the offer. Some of them took a different path. But literally, I birthed their product lines. And because we have farms and we grow our herbs, I can go ahead and ask my team to do that for the women that I mentor and coach. Right? Like these are the opportunities that come with relational currency. If you're resonating with this live as I wrap up, I invite you to make sure you're on my email list, thewombsauna.com. If you need more of my energy on my YouTube channel, I have over 200 videos that you can feed off of my energy for free. We also have our online university. There are some classes on demand you can take 24/7. We have over 13 course categories and classes that you can take, right? And honestly, if you know that you need somebody to witness you and bring accountability, then you need me. And there's 2 ways of getting directly to me. You can book a session with me directly. And right now we're running a Groupon. So if finances have been tight, go snag that while it's there. I have a great partnership with Groupon. And you might be like, yeah, that's cool. I could have a one-off session with Tamar. I know that'll change my life. But if you want the big change, the sustainable changes, then you need to invest in a year. And it's not an investment in a year with Tamar per se. It's really, I need to learn how to give myself my undivided attention for a year. And if I can just hang in there and do that, and because of who Tamar is, she's going to make sure I do. I can't wait to see who I am at the end of that 12 months. And I can tell you, you will not be the same. I know what my anointing is. I'm anointed to get to the root of things. I help women figure out why they make the choices they do, why they think the way they do, and how that's impacting the outcomes in their life. And yes, you have to pay me for that. But what you pay me nowhere compares to who you become after a year with me. All right, so I've enjoyed. I hope you learned something or that you heard something that reactivated the knowledge that you needed. Put in the chat your thoughts about this conversation. I want your feedback. Like, what did this do for you? What was some of your ahas or takeaway? Was this conversation helpful? Would you want to see me go live and talk more about these types of things? Give me some feedback. I really like to interact with you all and hear how my words and my thoughts interact and intersect with you. But I'm so happy that you caught this live and that you are here. Know that I love you. I appreciate you. Whether we work together or not, I give what I give because I can and I enjoy giving. So I hope that what I've given to you has blessed you and seeded something that helps you become more of who you truly are. I hope it presses you closer into God's vision for your life and that it allows you to like yourself enough to be visible and experienced in the world because you matter. And I hope you fully embrace your significance because you deserve that. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.